Good morning. When people ask you or say to you, how are you doing? Do you really think they want to know how you're doing? Yes. And when you answer, do you always answer truthfully? Yes. I hear someone say yes, but I also hear some people say no. Sometimes when people ask us that, we answer honestly, but sometimes we do not always answer honestly. We're afraid to tell people what is truly happening with us because perhaps we're afraid of rejection or judgment or conflict. Today we live in a highly technological space, and you would find people with lovely photos on social media. Many of them you would see so much smiles and happiness. But behind those photos or beneath those photos are struggles and imperfections. How about at our job places where we work? Sometimes we show up in the morning, we're all smiles, but underneath we're struggling with anxiety and with burnout. We hide our true opinions so that we do not get into conflict or rejections by others or from others. We wear a mask of happiness while secretly we struggle with anxiety, depression, and many times loneliness. Friends, we all sometimes wear a mask. We do. But putting on a mask can cause us emptiness. It can cause us disconnection. It can even cause us spiritual death. It makes us disconnected from ourselves and it makes us disconnected from God. This is what wearing a mask can do to each one of us. But Jesus tells us what we can do in order to be better today. That's what all the readings for today's Mass are about. In today's Gospel reading in Mark chapter 7, Jesus addresses the Pharisees and he says, you guys are putting on a mask of righteousness. But underneath, he says, your hearts are so far away from me. You do not honor me with your heart. Your actions say differently from what it's in your heart. And he says, look, you prioritize appearances, but you have no genuine faith. Hypocrisy, Jesus calls out. You hypocrites, he says. And hypocrisy can really create a gap between our actions and our words. And it can hinder us from connecting truly with God and with others. When we pretend to be something we're not, when we pretend we're doing well when we're really not doing well, we can disconnect from ourselves and from God. What can we do? What can we do? How can we respond? To respond to this, we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and to nurture a sense of courage in our hearts. Only then can we be able to remove the mask. But how can we remove this mask? We have to first recognize that we are putting on a mask. And we can do so by asking these questions to ourselves. What am I afraid to reveal about myself? Where am I pretending to be someone I am not? So first, to recognize that we are putting on a mask and we are not truly ourselves. And then we can take the step to remove the mask once we have identified it. And then we can ask God for the courage to remove it. We would say to God, give me the courage to be vulnerable and authentic. Help me to shed the mask that hide my true self from who I am. And after we have done that, we can replace the mask with authenticity by surrounding ourselves with people who can support us and encourage us to be truly ourselves. But we must also accept ourselves for who we are. And we can now hold ourselves accountable by asking ourselves always these questions. Am I being true to myself in this conversation? Am I being true to myself? Am I being true to others? Am I surrounding myself with people who would help me be authentically who I am? Being authentic unlocks happiness. It unlocks intimacy with God. When we unmask ourselves and we review our hearts, we can experience a deeper connection. As we close, my friends, or as I end, I want to leave you with a mirror. Not a physical one, because I do not have a physical one, but a reflective question. What mask is God asking me to remove today? What truth will you tell yourself today? What authenticity will you embrace today? Now, look into the mirror of your soul and ask, who am I really? What am I hiding? What am I afraid to reveal? The mirror won't judge you, but it will reveal the truth to you. And when you're ready, take off the mask and let your true self shine. Remember, being authentic is not a destination, it is a journey. And that journey begins with one step, by recognizing that you are putting on a mask, by removing it, by replacing it, and by reinforcing the truth of who you truly are. Go ahead. Take a look at the mirror. That person you have been waiting to be is staring at you.